Good morning. Got a fun one today. I love it. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of the Swananoa Valley. I'll let a couple of people get seated here. So my name is Leif Nepstead. I am a member of the Board of Trustees for our lovely church here. And here on Montreat Road, we are a welcoming congregation, standing together on the side of love and justice. Let us walk through this life with open hearts and open minds. And as one of my favorites is to remember one of our 8 principles is that there is an inherent worth and dignity of every person, in this room and outside. So first things first, please silence or turn off your cell phones. And one of our traditions around here is to welcome visitors, and those that are first and second time visitors, or those who just haven't been here in a while. So I'll start here on the left side. Just introduce yourselves and stand if you're willing, and let us know where you're from. Anyone over here on the left?
I'm Wesley from Greenville, South Carolina, and I visit Black Mountain quite often.
Welcome. All right, I'm Mary from Black Mountain and Maine, and so I'm only here seasonally. But this is my new friend Shira and Neil, and we both are too slow in saying here we are.
Welcome.
My name is Eva. I've been at UU all my life, and I'm trying to find a congregation here while I'm in college.
It's always like this.
I'm Don Macon, and my parents, Liz and Spence, have been coming a while. I've come a few times, but it's been quite a while. So.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Any more on the left here? All right, how about the right? All right, left's got you beat. Nobody? Hey!
I'm Marissa Delaney, and we're from Oakport, and this is my husband Alan and my kids, Kaden, Celissa, and Brayden. We come here all the time.
Yeah.
But come up, I don't remember his name. What's the lady's name? It wasn't Snowflake, I'm sorry. It was Snowflake.
Awesome. Well, welcome. And we do, if you have any interests or any questions, we do have the membership that you can fill out if you have any needs there. There also are members that have orange name tags that you can also ask about as well. One part of this as well is that we have our land acknowledgement. We take the time to remind ourselves that the land that we are currently on was native land. We respect and value the people and culture of that land that was taken. So UUCSV acknowledges, with respect, that the land we're on today is the ancestral home of the Cherokee and other indigenous people. The Cherokee, through stewardship, understanding, and conservation, survive and thrive in this land. We acknowledge their enduring connection to their homeland. Also, right underneath that, on the back of here, is the 8 principles of Unitarian Universalism. So take a look at those as well. It's very important. A couple of announcements for today. If you want to keep up with what is happening, we do have the current, which is our email, and we also have the bulletin board in the back. So a few things. So starting tomorrow, Jim wanted me to let everybody know about a free tax preparation. So February 3rd, at both Pisgah Legal Services in downtown Asheville and AARP at the Black Mountain Library, 2 trained and certified volunteers will prepare and send your federal and North Carolina taxes for you. You must have all your end-of-year tax documents before going to either location, so see the announcement for AARP tax prep on our bulletin board or talk to Jim Carillon following the service to see if you qualify and how to make an appointment to get those taxes prepared. Get rid of one fun thing off your to-do list, right? Also, such a fun event we have today. Susan would like to thank you all for your willingness to play along this morning. She also sends her friend Elizabeth Schell for creative insight and props, and all those named and unnamed willing to play a role in today's service. Thanks to Michael Donnan, Rochelle Brook, and Linda Metzner for helping pull together logistical elements. If you enjoy this morning's service and would be interested in being a collaborator in religious education in some way, please fill out one of the RE interest forms that are in the pews today. and leave them in the basket during coffee hour. And there's a poem here by Shel Silverstein called Invitation. If you're a dreamer, come in. If you're a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer. If you're a pretender, come sit by the fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in. So let us take the time we spend together in this place, make us braver, more compassionate, and have more fun than we did when we arrived this morning. Thank you. Logistical errors.
I need my helpers. Okay, this morning's chalice lighting is from Helen Rivers, and it's called the Blanket Fort Prayer. Meet me at the altar of banned books, Blanket Fort Sanctuary.
We will dance to a chorus of children's laughter.
Meet me in the joy, the sorrow, beneath the rainbow banner. Bring your questions, cares, concerns.
Bring the glitter in your pocket and the sparkle in your smile.
Bring your heavy heart, your favorite mug, your very best swear words. Set down your very bravest face. Meet me in the heartbeat, between what has been and what will be. Meet me in the flicker of our eternal flame.
We need not face this moment alone.
Blessed be. Thank you.
Good morning. So, yesterday, some of you may know, for pagans was the holiday of Imbolc, which is sort of midpoint between the spring equinox and the winter solstice. It's a date on which ancient Celts and the secret said that the secret. Sorry, I have mic issues. It's a day that the ancient Celts believed that the sacred crone went out to gather her firewood for the rest of the winter. So the story goes, if the weather was bleak and gross, it meant she slept in and she would have to use up just the firewood she had for the end of the winter, so it wouldn't last very long. But if it was a beautiful day, she went out to gather a lot of wood, so you could expect a lot of winter to come. And you can sort of see how that ties through to the cultural belief that we have today in Groundhog's Day, which has a similar sort of notion of when it's gorgeous, which I think you saw a shadow this morning, right? Or did you come out to play? Yeah, okay. So, hold on guys, maybe a long one. The groundhog is sort of our tie to those same notions of trying to predict the winter. And to that end, the lovely Liz Bryan has found us a wonderful, charming story for our Story for All Ages. And so she can invite folks to come up and listen. Thank you, Liz.
So if all the kids would come up and young at heart, Jim. And we'll have a story. let's warm up with a little game. This is a word game, and I'm going to say a word, and I want you guys to think of a word that comes after that. And I'll give you an example. If I say ice, what would you say after ice?
Cream.
Ice what? Ice maker. Anybody else? Icicle. Anybody else? Ice cube. Any other ices?
Ice cream.
Ice. Anybody else out there? Ice tea. Iceberg. Icing. All right. Thank you. Okay. The next word is going to be snow. Snowflake. Snowball. Snow. Snowbank. Snowfort. Anybody else out there? Snow cone.
Snowstorm.
Okay, how about, that's no, there's no. How about play? Playtime? Playground? Play-doh? What was that? Playful, okay. All right. How about, I like playground. How about ground? Okay. Anybody else?
Brown coffee.
Ground coffee?
Grounded.
Grounded? Okay.
Ground control.
I did think of ground floor and ground level. It's amazing how the words can fit so many. Well, this morning, does everybody know what today is? Yeah.
Sorry, I give away lead.
February 2nd, every year is Groundhog Day. And we're going to read a story today called Gregory's Shadow. It's by Don Freeman, and this is an author who wrote the Corduroy Bear stories, if you remember that. Early one cold morning, Gregory Groundhog bundled up before going outside. He had spent the entire winter inside his cozy burrow home. Tomorrow was Groundhog Day. The farmers would want to know if Gregory and his shadow came out of their burrow together. If they did, there would be 6 more weeks of winter. But if Gregory came out alone, spring would be coming very soon. "Come, Shadow," Gregory said to his friend. "I can't wait until tomorrow. I'm hungry. Let's go dig up something to eat." Gregory was shy. Having a friend like Shadow made him feel brave. They did everything together. "Sure," said Shadow. "I'm right behind you." Gregory opened the door. It was a windy day, but the sun was shining. The ground was covered with snow. When the two friends reached the edge of Farmer Ferguson's garden, Gregory saw another shadow coming toward him. It was waving its arm. What could it be?
I think it would be the farmer.
Gregory was frightened. He ran back home. "Wait for me," Shadow called out, but it was too late. Gregory had closed his door. He was so scared he forgot all about his friend. He pulled the covers over his head and shut his eyes tight. Shadow was left outside. See the shadow? Looks like a groundhog. Shadow was all alone. He was shy too, and being with Gregory had made him feel brave. He looked up from the shadow with waving arms and saw Farmer Ferguson's scarecrow. "Whose shadow are you?" asked the scarecrow. "I belong to Gregory Groundhog," replied Shadow, "but he left me here. What should I do?" "I would like to help you, but I don't know how," said the scarecrow. "I don't need a shadow. As you can see, I already have one." Shadow felt very sad and alone. He leaned against a tree. "Are you lost?" said the tree. Shadow told her about Gregory. "I would like to help you, but I don't know how," said the tree. "I don't need a shadow. As you can see, I already have one." "I know where I belong," Shadow said. "With Gregory Groundhog." He walked slowly through the snow. He soon grew tired. Just then he saw an old barn. "That looks like a good place for me to rest," he said to himself. "I'll be able to think more clearly after I have a nap." Shadow climbed into the dark, cozy hayloft and fell asleep. Meanwhile, Gregory Groundhog had realized Shadow was missing, and he was hunting for his friend. "Maybe he's under the bed," he thought, but all he saw was the straw mattress he had put there last fall. "Maybe Shadow is lost," he said. "He must be scared. I will go find him." Gregory spent all day searching through the falling snow and didn't even think about how scared he was. He only thought about finding Shadow. When it began to snow harder, Gregory ran into that barn. It was very dark inside. Bang! The barn door blew shut behind him. Up in the hayloft, Shadow opened his eyes. He looked down and he saw his dear old friend Gregory. Gregory looked up. He thought he saw something in the hayloft. It looked like a blue ghost. Gregory was just about to dash out the barn door when he heard a voice say, "It's me. I'm your lost Shadow." Oh, no, you're not. You're not my shadow," Gregory said. "You're a ghost." Then he ran outside. It had stopped snowing. Shadow followed his friend into the bright moonlight. Gregory wouldn't leave him behind this time. When Gregory Groundhog turned around, he was very surprised. "Why, you really are my shadow," he said. "I found you at last." "And I found you," said Shadow. Never was there a happier pair. They danced together far into the night. Then Gregory said, "I almost forgot. Tomorrow's Groundhog Day. The farmers will be looking for me." They made their way back home. If they see us together, they will be unhappy. It will mean 6 more weeks of winter, Gregory told his friend the Shadow. He didn't want the farmers to be unhappy, but he didn't want to be separated from his friend again. What should he do? Early that morning, the farmers and their families waited to see the groundhog. They watched from a distance. "Here he comes now," said Farmer Ferguson. Gregory opened the door to his burrow. It was a gray, cloudy day. He sniffed the air. He saw the farmers. Then he had a very good idea. "Hide behind me, Shadow," he whispered. Shadow understood. He snuggled up behind his friend as close as he could and held on tight. He was so close, no one could see him. "Hooray! The groundhog is staying outside without a shadow," the farmers cheered. "Spring will be here soon. Our hard winter is over." Farmer Ferguson gave Gregory some delicious vegetables he had kept in his root cellar to thank him for the good news. And oh, what a feast Gregory had. Ever since then, Gregory Groundhog waits until the 2nd of February to open his door. He and Shadow stay very close to each other all the time, and they are always very brave.
What a wonderful story. My name is Garth.
I'm sorry.
Garth Groundhog. I'm Gregory's cousin, and I can vouch for every word of that story.
Jim, you take
Anyway, I just popped in to say hello.
And to let you know, just a few little facts about groundhogs. Groundhogs are related to the marmots, which are large ground squirrels. So I'm a large ground squirrel. I can't get up a tree. So if you have a dog, keep it on a leash.
You look like a hungry groundhog. Can somebody give him a carrot?
Oh, I would love a carrot.
You sound like you might be musical. Are you musical, groundhog?
I've been known to play a little banjolele. Would you like to hear some?
Yeah.
Well, I'll save this for later.
If you guys want to stay here for the music, you can.
And now, with the magic of make-believe, I'm going to transition into a musician.
So within your program, you actually have the words to the song that we're going to do, and I'm hoping that everybody is going to help us with this. We're going to do Don't Worry, Be Happy together. Okay, so for those of you who sing high, you're going to be up high. Woo, and those of you who sing low are going to be lower. Help me out here. One more time. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy like me. One more time. Verse 2. Ain't got no patience in your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry. Be happy. The landlord say your rent is late. You may have to lift the gate, but don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't you worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Last verse, here we go. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style. Ain't got no gal to make you smile. Don't worry. Be happy.
you worry, your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. So don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Keep on being happy. I'm happiest when I'm singing. Be happy today. Be happy. One more time, everybody. Don't you worry.
What fun. Thank you so much to Mr. Clark and Encore for that beautiful, that wonderful music. Made me so happy. And now, we got jokes. Can I have my first round of jokesters?
Oh,
Hello. Hello. Hi. I am, well, I'm just a happy cow, especially after singing that song. Moo, 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 I think we need some jokes in our pockets. All right, well, let's see what we got here today for you guys. And if you don't like these, jokes, talk to Larry, by the way. Ooh, let's see. What do you call an emu cow?
Emo.
Oh, an emu.
Emo.
Is that emo? Is that the?
Emo is the term. What do you call an emo?
What do you call an emo cow?
Moo.
Moody.
A horse walks into a bar. Hey, says the barman. Yes, please, says the horse.
What do you call a cow in an earthquake?
A milkshake.
Thank you, Mary.
I bet on a horse to come in at 10-1, and it did. Unfortunately, the others all came in at 12:30.
That's funny. What is a cow's favorite TV show?
Mr. Red. No, not so bored.
Grey's Anatomy.
Have you heard of the one about the runaway horse?
No.
It's a tale of whoa.
Thank you.
Is this still, yeah, still on, okay. So this is the point in our service where we invite you to come up and share joys and concerns, if you'd like, in the form of candles to light or stones to submerge. So if there are things in your heart that you'd like to share with us in that medium, please come forward now. This last stone and candle is for anyone who chose not to come forward for any reason, or for those that we love who are not with us.
All right, we're going to have a congregational hymn. It's not really in the hymn book. I'm hoping you'll know this tune. You might recognize it. Most of the words are here. I've got that joy, 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 joy down in my heart. The only thing that's not here is the word today at the very end. So you're welcome to play along if you want to. I'll play the whole tune.
As many of you know, my wife and I are blessed in the last 6 years now doing foster care for little ones. And when Susan asked me to do a meditative thing, something about joy and play, I couldn't think of anything better than to share one of my poems about our fostering experience. But a quick announcement first. Caring for Children is the foster family that we have used to become foster parents. If you would like to consider becoming a foster parent, or as we call it, an honorary grandperson, our retirement community of Gibbons Estates on Sweeten Creek Road on February 11th, which is a Tuesday at 10:30 a.m., is doing a program recruiting more grandparents to become foster parents. So if you'd like to become a respite care provider, which Aline and I are, or a full-time foster parent, see me afterwards and I'll connect you with Caring for Children. So, being a meditative moment, I'd like you to just center yourselves a little bit and become quiet. This poem is about someone who we fostered from birth until 10 months old. His name at the time was Lucas, but eventually he became adopted in a wonderful family of 2 other siblings and a mother and a father. And as we transitioned Lucas into his new family, they decided to change his name to Dakota. And so this story is about Dakota. Our extra week together at 13 months. Mom and Dad asked if we could care for you a week during their prior long-planned trip. Of course, we said, jumping at this chance. Strolling you to the park daily after breakfast. Swinging high and laughing on the swings. Sharing wild blackberries in the field as we walked home. Splashing poppy in baths and your wading pool, sharing every meal together, yet insisting on feeding yourself from your own high chair tray. cooking block soup in the living room, banging the pot and lid as loud as you can, and rolling a ball to each other, chasing it when it slips away. Swiftly crab walking everywhere in our house, hiking 5 miles on Poppy's back on the Mountains to Sea Trail with other hikers. Protesting and wildly wiggling every time as we tried changing your diaper and clothes. Ringing the wind chimes on the front porch. Grammy reading books and singing you songs. You drawing my face closer with your small hands for an open mouth, wet kiss and hugs. This has been an eventful week. Grammy and Poppy will long cherish. Thanks for being you and sharing you with us. And just if you didn't know, about this hat, I am the world's best Poppy.
Thank you, Jim. And now we'll have a special treat as we pass our offering baskets. We have an encore from Encore.
You know this one, please help me out. Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Singing, don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melody pure and true. Saying, this is my message to you. It says, don't you worry about a thing, oh, every little thing is gonna be alright. I said, don't you worry about a thing, and every little thing gonna be alright. Then rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds stepped by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melody pure and true. Saying, this is my message to you. Everybody, say, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry
thing. Cause every little thing's gonna be alright.
We have one more announcement.
Yeah.
Got missed. And so Lathan's gonna make sure to share that with us.
Sorry. I can't believe I missed this one. So, let's take a step back. So we have the Social Action Committee. They're doing a movie on Friday, the climate justice movie. It's at 5, and it's till 7:30. And there's going to be some drinks and some food and a lot of us there. So you definitely don't want to miss that.
February 7th.
What's that?
February 7th.
Yeah, this coming Friday, February 7th.
Right.
5 to 7:30, and they'll be ending directly at 7:30, so we don't have to worry about staying late.
And is there a potluck?
No. So don't have to worry about that either. Just bring yourselves and some good energy, and don't worry.
There will be food.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you again, Encore. And now, we got more jokes.
All right.
Why can't you put a hide and seek with a mountain?
I don't know. Why not?
Because it's always peeking.
Hey, do you want to hear a joke about paper?
Shit.
Never mind. That's terrible.
Dad. When does a joke become a dad joke?
I don't know. When does a joke become a dad joke?
When it becomes a parent.
And now it's my turn. I actually do the whole sermon like this. Hey, Linda, why can't skeletons play church music?
We have no organs.
But they have no organs, that's exactly right. So, technically we have no organs too, but joke doesn't play as well that way. So I didn't actually bring you all here to announce my upcoming Netflix stand-up special. I don't actually think I'm that talented at telling jokes, but I enjoy them. And I do have a little bit of a theater background. In fact, I once did a one-woman performance about puns. It was really just a play on words. I got thrown! Not at least a few of you laughed at that, though. I feel like Michael leaves some big shoes to fill in the jokes department, and not just because he's 6'1" and I'm 5'2". In all seriousness, the work of writing sermons is not really my wheelhouse, but in my regular work as your director of religious education and a mom, a couple of these squirrely guys, I do get afforded the opportunity to play and to have some fun and for creativity and spontaneity, and I enjoy all of those things very much. To that end, I'd like to maybe start with a little interactive element. I'm going to read a series of statements, and if what I've said is true for you, I want you to, I give my whistle wobber away. You can raise your hand or wave your fringes or whatever, just, spirit fingers, something to indicate that it's a true statement for you, and you're participating. All right, so if you are a parent or you work with young children, or children, okay. I am a child under the age of 18 myself. if you regularly play a sport. If you even regularly watch a sport. Next Sunday many of us will be watching men who get paid to play their whole lives, which is pretty good gig if you can get it. If you routinely dance, sing, or play a musical instrument, there too, play is right in the name. If you often make art, then you can interpret that how you want. If you participate in storytelling or theater production. If you often play board games, role-playing games, or participate in trivia nights, or anything. Fun. See, we're learning about each other. I love it. All right, if you're a video gamer. If you even just do virtual puzzle like the Wordle. There we go. That's my audience. And finally, if you've done or at least familiar with the basic tenets of improv. Yeah, I love it. So I love it. This looks like we have a very playful group here, which is fantastic. Of course, it's a self-selecting audience, so I guess there's that. But I'm really happy to see that because play is vitally important. And in recent years, scientists keep coming up with more and more evidence to suggest that play is not just fun and makes us feel good, but is necessary to living healthy lives, and not just for children. We've known for a long time that children, are happier and learn better when they're given opportunities to play and express themselves. But it's not just for kids anymore, and maybe it really never was. All of those things I mentioned before, people doing sports and playing music, and participating in theater, these are all forms of grown-up play or kid play too. And it's vital that we have those moments. It's super important to the way our brains and bodies connect. It's important to our emotional well-being. Play is often social. It's the whole package. Adults who engage in playful behavior also have an easier time learning things just as kids do and retaining information. Play helps keep your brain young. So if you want to sort of fend off, it's not a surefire thing, but fend off some of those cognitive decline diseases, play and games and that kind of interactive work will help keep your brain a little bit younger. The opposite, of course, is also true. Play deprivation has a negative impact on the size and responsiveness of our brain. We lose that elasticity, we lose those synapses if we don't continue to use them. It's terribly important, even if you consider yourself a serious person, or you work in like a more conservative space than maybe this, to find yourself an outlet for play. So it looks like many of you participated, had things that you do for play in your own lives, and I hope that you keep those. Humans, of course, are not alone. A vast number of mammals have been observed participating in play, engaging in playful activities. We actually recognize most mammal play looks familiar to us because being mammals ourselves, it sort of mimics the same sorts of things we do. But it's not just mammals. A scientist named Gordon Birdhart, I hope I'm saying his name right, established 5 criteria that have to be met before a scientist can say that an animal actually playing. And so the activity has to be spontaneous and exaggerated. It's initiated when the animals are healthy and free of stress. It has to be like an unprompted exertion they do seemingly for their own joy. So biologists have documented those kinds of behaviors in mammals, of course, but also various birds, in fish, in stingrays, even sharks play, and are social creatures, some of them. Cephalopods, in the wild they spend a lot of their time hiding and surviving, but given an opportunity to play, they're like toddlers with a new toy. They're really fun. Cephalopods, for those who don't know, are things like squids, octopus. Even some insects, wasps and bees, have been known to play. I've brought in representations of many of these creatures. If you happen to be lucky enough to sit next to an animal stuffy friend this morning, if you would raise it up so we can see some examples of animals who play. Luckily, we humans don't have to be completely free of stress to choose to play. We are cognizant to know that play will help relieve our stress, right? And that's, of course, again, vital to our health. To be able to release that stressful energy helps keep us sane and healthier. Play in many forms like sports and dance, engaging young children, is also a good form of exercise. As many of you parents and former parents will remember, running after kids takes work. Play sometimes allows us to try in different identities and often engage in outside-the-box thinking or creative problem-solving, like people who do role-playing games or theater kind of games. It's good self-regulation. Schools that have higher blocks of play, longer blocks of play, children who are allowed to engage in more play engage in less bullying. Which is why we need to keep advocating for play in schools. If anybody happens to not have that as an issue, please consider taking it up. I watched several very worthy TED Talks on the concept of play and its value before doing the sermon this morning. I'm happy to share those resources if you want. But one thing that was really striking to me is more than one, like 2 or 3 of them, said the opposite of play is not work. Work is not the counterpoint to play. The opposite of play is depression. So, like I said, play allows us the opportunity to engage with others. It allows us a chance to work through some of what we have going on in our own lives. It allows us to, those social aspects allow us to do battle with this epidemic of loneliness, which our country is currently facing right now. That's not you, fantastic. But it might be someone you know, so reach out. I think that it might be part of what's behind the resurgence of things like those role-playing and tabletop games, or maybe that's just Stranger Things, I don't know. But, people have gotten kind of back into D&D and tabletop gaming as a way of being in real physical space with people again after so much social isolation. The reason I asked earlier specifically about the idea of improv was because among the central tenets of improv is the idea that you say yes, and not to say that, whatever crap life hands you, you say yes, but the idea is that the situation you find yourself in might not be of your own making, but you find a way to run with it, right? You didn't make that scene, you didn't set that vignette up, but you have the choice to think about the choices the choices you're going to make and the actions you're going to take to move the scene forward. And I think that is certainly a valuable life skill. In some forms, of course, play can also be meditative. I was a big colorer as a kid and still would be if I gave myself more time for that. I think that is a form of play that, speaks to the soul and is meditative and fills my bucket. Hopefully that works for some of you too. Maybe you've got a chance to grab a coloring sheet on the way in. It allows us there again to work through, the stuff in the back of our mind, the stuff that's out there in the world that might be weighing on us. At a time in which the world seems heavy and complex and even scary with big problems we have to solve, we're going to need all the creative strategy we can get, right? All of those, we're going to have to tap into as much of that creative force and creative problem solving as we can possibly manage. And I think play is going to be part of how we get there. Now, sometimes our best attempts at strategy will get thwarted. We'll try to make a move, and our way will be blocked. But that's okay too, because play also teaches us resilience. It teaches us to pull back, reassess the situation, regroup, figure out a new way to put forward. And I think that's terribly important. When we find ourselves in an impasse, we have to remember not to take ourselves too seriously. In all seriousness, though, at least with as much seriousness I'm willing to bring here this morning, I hope that you have had fun. I hope that you appreciate the value of play and will work on incorporating into your own lives. I appreciate your grace and your good humor and giving me this moment to play with you. I hope it's been a moment of respite or relief for you, and that in this weary, sometimes dreary world, you remember that winter won't last forever. None of us has to do the work alone. Right? This too shall pass. And play is not a waste of your time. And now Linda's gonna play. We're gonna have one more song. One more song before the post. You should have closing words. But if you want to sing or play along to Zippity Doo Dah, the words should be in your order of service.
And you have coloring too, so don't forget to get some
So this service has lifted my heart for sure, and I hope it did yours as well. So some closing words before we leave today. Hopefully these will bring happiness to you, and I hope you bring happiness to the folks in your life as you go on for the rest of the day. And now we take our leave. Before we gather here again, may each of us bring happiness into another's life. May we each be surprised by the gifts that surround us. May each of us be enlivened by constant curiosity. And may we remain together in spirit till the hour we meet again. Have a wonderful Sunday, everybody.